Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Well, and today I think lots have been making me cry. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I decided to get outside of my head a bit and hang out. So I'm sitting here with a sociopath staring me down in the window. The other sociopath, goodness knows where she is. A cup of coffee, and you good people. Hello. Vermont Cheddar says, no way, I just hit refresh. And I get muses, yay. Well, yay you. I'm glad you're here. Maybe I should do more morning things, because that's kind of when I have some spare time. Whew. Well, look who is here. It is the lovely Genevieve. Yeah, so the reason why we're talking about humility today is because about 7 months ago, I was doing lots of stuff with the 7 deadly sins and the opposites and stuff. And what I'll do is I'll put stuff together months at a time. And I'll be like, you know what? Maybe one of these days I'll go ahead and I'll do a stream about that. So I put together some things on slides, and then sometimes when they come up, I'll be like, oh shoot, I can't do this because people are going to think I'm talking about them. And I'm like, no, I swear I put this together months ago. There's another one I put together months ago that I've really been sitting on. Maybe a little more spicy. But yeah, so it's like, okay, I'll throw in some humility. If you ask for distractions though, to distract Teresa, note to self, don't ask for naked Faramir. You never know what you just might get. But I did enjoy all the kittens and all the puppies. So keep those coming. Why, it is Timon, all the way from Brazil. Great to see you. We love our people. Wait, yeah, you are in the future. You're only like an hour or two in the future, though, for me. Not like those crazy Australians who live like a whole day in the future, and all my friends from Europe. Matt G. He is giving me a turtle. Lady T is here. Okay, this is ridiculous. Great to see you, Lady T. My gosh, just shoot me now. Put me out of my misery. So, anyways. Yeah, so don't ask for naked Faramir. You will definitely live to regret it. But yeah. Hello. I had the wildest dream, says Meteor Advocate Timon. Still bothered by it. How weird it was. Wow. Well, if it's something you can share, go ahead. Everyone's saying hello. Oh, what happened? Oh, sick people that I love a lot. You know, and sometimes you just remember, like, I was really down and someone kicked me when I was down. Went on Twitter and made fun of me. People aren't nice. All right. Oh, great. I'm losing viewers. I need to stop this. All right. Faramir, like from Lord of the Rings. Yes. Faramir, yeah, it was a friend that did, a so-called friend did that. Not a friend anymore. Jariah, morning, Miss Martin Muses and chat. Yes, hello. That sucks. Human beings can be cruel. Yeah. Well, it was a few months ago. I just need to get over it. But you know how it is. When shit goes down, I think that you sometimes focus on the smaller crappy things and um because that makes the bigger crappy things easier to deal with. Because trust me, I have had road rage, I have had ant rage, as in ants, as in the animals. I have had um cat rage because oh my gosh, cats are insane. Because I've been looking after some cats and a dog, the person that's in the hospital, and oh my gosh, there's this older cat, and they keep trying to steal the older cat's food because the older cat can't fight as hard. So we have to feed them in separate rooms. I mean, cats are evil. I remember there was a priest I used to watch, a psychiatrist. He had a psychiatrist show or something, and um he was talking about, animals don't have original sin. Animals aren't capable of sinning. And then he paused for a few seconds and he said, except for cats. Actually, I think cats do. Um, Never mind. Cats are complete sinners and they are evil. And it's funny because they really do. Well, look who's here. It is Chris Sam. We're all just human. Vermont Cheddar says, I'm sorry, I'm a good human, but I do bad things that make me suffer. Oh, well, don't we all? Aren't we all our own worst enemies? That's what I'm trying to be a better person. People don't know how evil I truly am. um, Steve said it best because he was like, oh crap, Teresa's been extra nice to me lately. Because I had actually said on a live stream, I think it was on one of my Catholic ones, that if you are tempted to the opposite, like if you're tempted to sin, you like indulge in the opposite virtue. And so and I had actually said, whenever I feel like being really mean to somebody, and in this one case that I was mentioning earlier, I was about ready to say things that I knew I was gonna regret, even though it was all true. Um, and so I just was like not I just did this love fest and I was just nice to everyone. And it's like because I'm thinking of being that evil. Um, and, and so word has kind of gone out. Be really careful when Teresa starts being nice to you. That means she probably was thinking of doing something mean. Thank you, Lady Toriel. Milton Knowles, the insane Witch King. Oh, shoot. Witch Kings are bad enough, but insane ones? GD ants, they are in league with cats and octopuses. Damn right they are. Damn right they are. Laugh out loud. You know, cats can understand everything you say and disregard it anyways. Yeah. Well, like I said, one of the sociopaths is sitting right there staring at me on his little windowsill. And he probably heard me talking about him. He's probably thinking, that bitch, I'm going to get revenge on her. Um, yeah. Animals are innocent yet primal. Damn right. Cats are familiars. I don't know if they're evil, but truth tellers, yes, yes, all of that. Hello, Chrysanth. Chrysanth says, when my church did a blessing of the animals on the feast of St. Francis, no one brought a cat, and one priest concluding cats are atheists. Well, I'll tell you why you don't bring cats. I have never, ever brought my cats to the blessing on St. Francis because those poor cats, because, cats aren't like dogs. A cat is not a dog, as a musical cat says, that cats cannot, they don't deal well, and they get really traumatized, and they have to be in their unless they're weirdos, they have to be in their crates, and so they spend the whole time being stressed out and hissing and all sorts of stuff. So, but I have actually been at a blessing of animals because when I taught at a Catholic school, actually my first job was at a Catholic school, and elementary school, and these little kids, they brought their cats, they brought their parakeets, they brought their gerbils and their hamsters and their dogs. And I don't think there was one animal that wasn't freaking out at that blessing. Well, look who it is. It's Sultan Al Fahim. Genevieve says animals are smart. They can be annoying but entertaining. They sure can. I just broke 11 months of sobriety. I don't know if I'm liberated or enslaved. Oh, whoops. Oh, you mean you broke 11 months of sobriety? No, you're not. You're doing just fine. As one who knows, alcohol is cunning, baffling, and powerful, and it's progress, not perfection. Don't beat yourself up over it. We've all been there. Well, okay, not everybody. But, I think that sometimes it can get into your head. It's like, "Oh my gosh, I've got this many months. Oh gosh, now I've gotta get a new chip," or and all that. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just keep going. Just keep going. Um, Sultan Al Fahim says, "I am tempted to sin. Save me, Teresa." Well, I can't save you, sorry. I believe I'm a Catholic. We believe in free will. It's all your fault. You suck. Gotta do it yourself. Sorry. I'm okay, Lady T says, "Cats are cool, but sometimes they are like teenagers." Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Hey, speaking of something that's evil, yeah. I love teenagers, but man, oh man. And you gotta forgive teenagers because what they're doing is they are testing their boundaries. They're they're in that in between stage, and sometimes they don't know what they're doing, literally. And that's why it's the job of adults to metaphorically smack them down when you see them, behaving badly and all that. You got to teach them. Sultan laughing. Okay, yeah, no saving here. You're getting tough love here at Miss Martin Muses. Milton says, actually, that opposite virtue thing you think might be onto something. My friend's getting really scared when I stop being misleading and start being serious or nice. Yeah, like I said, be careful. It's like, "Oh my gosh, Teresa sent me the nicest message." Oh my gosh, Teresa. I don't know, who was it? Poor Ryan. He's famous enough, he that, not private. I never talk about what happens in private. I did it in public. I was like, I did a tweet when I was tempted. It's like, um, what was it? Um who's the nicest person? He acts like an asshole, but he's actually really nice, and I meant it because I don't lie. But I did that in public, and he was like, "Shut up, you're ruining my reputation." Yeah, and I did all sorts of nice stuff. Well, and here's the thing. That day, I was really tempted to do something awful. And when I say actually, it wasn't something awful. Maybe it was justice, but I knew that at the end of the day, it wasn't gonna be it's like I'm like the Count of Monte Cristo, I'm like, "That's for God to do. It's not my job to mete out justice." And that usually people when they say you reap what you sow, that's your punishment. St. Thomas Aquinas said something to that effect when he wrote, "G God usually punishes you by giving you what you want." Think about that. Ch cat in a cat in a cage. Cat in a cage. "Hey, are you okay?" "Yes." "Okay, here's the deal. I'm okay." Someone else that's not okay, and that's hard. But, I will say, if you know someone that's caregiving or, I've been spending a lot of time in the hospital, not for me. Um, yeah, I think it takes a toll, and you don't even know it takes a toll until something happens. What was it that happened? Oh, this is what made me lose my shit. True story. Everyone knows about my flooded kitchen, and I had to clean out everything on my first floor because I have, like, a continuous floor in my house. I have a little house. It's a little attached house, and that's why how I got flooded by my neighbor. Well, guess what? Um, the construction was supposed to start Monday, and I've been working my buttocks off. I mean, I've wrapped up everything, and the only thing that I'm keeping is my nerd stuff, like the things I can't live without, and this is ridiculous because 'cause I'm that kind of a weirdo. I have about 10 Bibles. I brought all those upstairs. It's like because I have all the different translations because 'cause I'm a weirdo. And all my holy medals, all my stuff, and I had to pack those up special and everything, and my grandmother's china, I got that when she passed, and had to load it all out in the garage. I had to do it by myself, again, because, someone is sick. So, I get this thing, and they're like, "Well, we had to push it back. We're gonna start the construction in 2 weeks." Now, is that a big deal? No, it's not a big deal. Is it gonna change or ruin my life? No, but for some reason, that made me lose my crap, and these poor people, I burst into tears and just was sobbing, and I'm like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." That's what made me lose my shit. Oh, thanks for the kind words. Oh, well, I try. You see, and maybe for all you know, I'm really pissed off at you, and that's why I'm being nice. No, I'm not pissed off at you. Yeah. We're all human. We all have our own vices. And anyone that says otherwise is a liar. We're all addicted to something. Yeah, but what's really good about the 12 steps, and maybe I'll do a 12-step thing sometime because 12 steps is not just for alcoholics. I think that's what I'm going to call the title. 12 steps works for everything because they figured that out. They were like, wait a second, this is working with like gamblers and this is working with weight. There's a 12-step, there's a what's it called? Overeaters Anonymous. And and then vice versa. There's also one, for people that undereat. Now have one for video games. Did you know that? For video games. And I even tell people, I don't care if you're addicted to any of those things. If you're just a human, you need them because sometimes people are addicted to arguing. Oh, really? How could that be, Teresa? Well, look at Twitter sometime. People are addicted to having the last word. Um, and there's an expression that I really like. There's lots of really good expressions for AA. I mean, if you're part of me is like, if you're a teacher, there should be 12 steps for being a teacher. Is that I don't have a drinking problem. I have a thinking problem. Don't we all have thinking problems? We damn right do. If you have a space named, what would it be called? Oh, a space name. Me? Um, I'll get it would be, what would it be? I don't know. Respect, yeah. Oh, yeah, we all have a yeah, we're all nice people. Potato Ribbon says, "Dogs are better than cats. My dog has the IQ of a brick, a stupid brick, but we still loves it." Yes, and I'll tell you this, dogs are perpetual toddlers. They're like 2 years old the rest of their lives. And the dog that I'm kinda helping out with right now, um, that's the best way to have a dog. It's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll go over, I'll feed the dog, I'll play with the dog, I'll let him out." It's like, "Oh, good, I get to go home," because they are pains in the ass. But, um, they're just so eager to please you. They just it's like they can't stand it. They're like, "I want you to love me." And then the opposite, cats are the opposite. Massive storm in Ohio, thousands without power. My friend's trees fell over. Oh my gosh. I didn't see that. I did not see that. Hope everyone's okay. Yeah, probably, it's tornado season. Potato Ribbon says, "So you're claiming your nobility, stares in Irish." Oh, I'm the farthest thing from nobility. Though I've told you, and it's not my fault that my people came from actually, you know what? I'm gonna say they came from Wales, because they probably did. It was in that same area of England. And then they were poor Tennessee people living barefoot in the mountains. Oh gosh. Okay, it drives me crazy when people say this, but I'll say this to make everyone puke. I'm nobility. I'm the daughter of Christ the King. Um, yeah, sorry, I'm making fun of myself here. I love my YouTube fam. Ah, well, we try to be nice people. I'm a care for my disabled mom. Oh, yeah. And it gets to you, doesn't it? And that's the thing. So when I tell people, "Hey, I'm okay." I really am okay. Just sometimes you just need a good cry. And women are more hormonal. What can I say? It's a fact. Yeah. Well, and I'll pray for her because I'm sure, it's rough. It's rough. On the other hand, I'm I can't complain. I am so blessed. I have so many loving people in my life. And I'm not I'm financially stable, all that kind of stuff. So I don't have to worry about bills. Uh so I'm blessed. So I have been advised. So fair warning. I have been advised to do something for myself because it has been a while. So I'm going to do a spa day, and it's going to be ridiculously girly. All by myself. Mud masks, pedicure, manicure, I don't know, massage. Vermont says, "Me too. People didn't get it. I did things I can't get over 3 years since she passed." Oh, his mother. Okay, if you care for a mom, you are aces. Don't beat yourself like I did. Oh yeah, don't. No, 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 no. Well, and here's the thing, for what, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I knew I needed to get out of my head because I got to go to the hospital a bit. So I'm getting out of my head and you all are helping me because I think the worst thing you can do is sit and feel sorry for yourself. That's another one. Yeah. Okay. For all of you who want some AA advice, pour me another drink. In other words, when you start to feel sorry for yourself, and then it's like, no, no, don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't, because, a drink lays on the other end of that or whatever you're addicted to. No, get your ass out, go for a walk, call up some people. I mean, um, I'm, uh, you know, as a Catholic, and I'm really involved in my church and in my parish. That's really important. And whatever your religion is or not is, find something like a church. when I was studying anthropology, because I have 200 million degrees. Uh, this was back in the late 90s, I think. And some people were like, yeah, religion sucks and all that. And these churches, blah, blah. And the professor just goes, this is when professors still had brains. It's like, okay, this is your assignment. Imagine every single church you see here in this city, every synagogue, every, every religious place, Salvation Army, all those disappears tonight. And you come back and you tell me what happened to the homeless, what happened to those that need to be fed, what happened to all our hospitals, what happens to all the schools, what happens to all these children, what happens to all these orphans. And yeah, the person was shamed because, you can look at it anthropologically. And like I said, if you're not a religious person, here in my city, at least, oh my gosh, they have like in comic stores are more Magic the Gathering stores now, where you can go play Magic the Gathering, you can play board games, you can, go watch movies. Uh, get out of yourself, get out of your head, and move. Don't be a plant. Oh, well, look who's here. We love our animals here at Miss Martin Muses. Man, I'm behind on the chat. I got lots of people here. Well, thank you. Thank you for everyone coming here and distract Teresa with everything but naked Faramir. Poor Lady Gravemaster was traumatized. Everyone's saying hello. God bless you, Potato Ribbon. Oh well, yeah. Well, we all pray for each other. Yeah, I light candles for y'all and pray some rosaries. I've been praying lots of rosaries, and that's the other thing about like regular religious observances, because sometimes just so much is going on. It's like, oh my gosh, I just can't deal. It's almost like you have this reserve of stuff from when you were so that you can pull from. Uh, it's like, okay, little comforting sayings and things. Oh, oh, he took care of Murber for years, R.I.P. Murber. Yeah, that's your wife. Yeah, may she rest in peace. Yeah, yeah. Milton says, "I'm not addicted to anything. Where's my Coke? It's been 2 minutes. I'm starting to shake." Exactly. And I'll tell you what, look at a person who can't find their cell phone. You wanna talk about addiction. I mean, it reminds me of, like, someone coming having the DTs from heroin, and I might be a little bit of one of those, not my cell phone, but my controller. I was playing The Witcher 3, and my controller died, and I'm like, "What? What?" And I was like, "What am I gonna do?" And I was like, "I'll be fine and whatever, it's just a controller and all that." Next thing you know, I'm driving to the Best Buy to get a controller. I had a doctor's appointment too, and I had it, like, under my arm. It's like, "What's that?" I was like, well, I didn't wanna leave it in the car. I had to go make sure I had my Xbox controller. Oh, everyone's saying hello. Snorter Poop says, "Is there a 12-step program for addiction of Walrus?" Yes, there is. Yes, there is. What was it? Wasn't there a cartoon where there was something like that, where it was something that was a natural prey for an animal? They were trying not to be addicted to it. Oh, if you're talking about the human equivalent, that would be OA, Overeaters Anonymous. My 13-year-old cousin is addicted to TikTok. Hell yes. Potato Revan. Yes. All these middle schoolers. TikTok. Oh my gosh, I gotta make this for TikTok. I have a rule when I do orchestra, when I come in to do some stuff with orchestra, and I'm like, listen, you can basically do whatever you want, but you are not allowed to film. You're not allowed to look at TikTok or anything like that. I say do whatever you want, obviously within reason, but it's like, yeah, no TikTok. Our Muse. Oh, thank you, Snort of Poop. Oh my gosh, am I that far behind? Star Muse, that is fantastic. So there you go, Genevieve. That is my space name. I'm smarter than the average brick, just barely. Talking about dogs. I'm half Naples, half Russian Jew. I am confused. Oh dear. Well, that might be more, not as schizophrenic as you think. The old is fulfilled in the new, and the new in the old. You know, I've actually known some people that have gone both directions, from Jew to Catholic, or Catholic to, or Christian to Jew. Actually, the person I know was a Methodist, and we kind of flow from the same font. I'm not going to be ignorant and say we're just the same. We're not, obviously, but yeah, we flow from the same font. Make a great point, says, oh, Jiraiya says, make a great point about being addicted to video games. A lot of the nihilism that young people have is actually dopamine burnout. Hell yeah. Maybe that's why kids are acting like psychos now in school. I mean, it's like working in an insane asylum. People losing their shit and fighting and throwing chairs and beating up students and teachers. Maybe they're just coming down from there because they're not allowed to play video games. Yeah, it's I forget what it's called because it's not GA, because GA is Gamblers Anonymous. But yeah, I mean, well, if you think about it, well, first of all, the 12 steps is based on St. Ignatius of Loyola's spiritual exercises. And Bill W. is not, well, he's dead now. Uh, th- they're not ashamed to admit it. He had an advisor that was a Jesuit that helped him with a lot of these things. And what they call the angel of AA, Sister Ignatia, she also, Ignatia was at least had spirituality based on Ignatius, and she's the one who came up with a lot of the like traditions, because she had a little ward where, because they used to put alcoholics in insane asylums, and so she tried out a lot of these things, and she was the one that came up with things like chips, and because she would give them scapulars, and then she came up with like the rule, and it is a rule, you have to have a pot of coffee, a lot of that stuff, and that there's always treats. That's the other thing. There's lots of candy and cupcakes. But don't go into the wrong one. So if you're going to OA, don't wander into an AA meeting because everything you're trying not to eat will be right there. Cigarettes too. I remember once I was going to a church. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, "Is it a rosary night, prayer? What's going on?" Because there were so many cars and so many people were hanging around the door. It's like, why are they hanging around the door? And they were all sitting there chain smoking. And I was like, and then I saw that there was an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting at the church. I'm like, oh, okay. um, oh, that's the other thing they have. They have it for cigarettes and stuff. I think there's an official one for that as well. Oh wait, I've already said that. My hunting dog, says Potato Ribbon, aka Brick. He was crying because he fell off the bed and my bison cut her paw and required to be held and bounced while she bawled her eyes out because she's 10 and still a puppy. Yeah. Yes, they're babies. Oh, here's the deal. True story. Someone's in the hospital, so the husband's also there, and the kid just went off to college. That's the dog I'm looking after. And after I fed him and let him run around, and then he's, like, leading me down the hallway. I'm like, "Really?" And because down the hallway is where his bedroom is, and he jumps up on the bed and wanted to cuddle on the bed. So I cuddled with him on the bed, took a nap, actually, it was nice. Dogs are cute. And says, I love a good cry when things get to be too much." Yes. Well, there's actually some science behind it. There's science behind that. Because I think you release, like, some sort of hormone or something. So good cry is good. Good cry is good. I got Pilates actually, uh, before I go over to the hospital, so that's also good. I said something like that about that on Rev Kev's, on his Twitter, because um I forget what he's doing. Some kinda yoga lifestyle stuff, and, he's lost a lot of weight, but it was also just about just feeling good. And it is true. You just feel good when you exercise. And I'm really looking forward to getting back to Pilates because I haven't been able to go for a week, and then I'm going to swim later on. Swimming is good for you too. Teresa, you will get this. Look at me. Oh, Lady T, I definitely do. Okay, this is, remember I said I'm trying not to be a mean person, but it is all gloves off when it comes to those twats, Meghan Markle and Harry. And I don't know which one I don't like, but yes, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Look at me. Because, it's always like, oh, the paparazzi are coming to get us. And you look at the pictures and she's sitting there smiling. Look at me. That's narcissism. Yeah, that is the opposite of humility. We have got to work something out where we can just sit and bash them for another good 2 hours. Because you know what? Public figures, fair game. You know, trust me. Harry is not sitting around crying. Well, wait a second. He might be, because and I know that he knows about look at me. He knows about her, and he knows about the royal grift, and who's the other one? The royal rogues, because he even said on his stupid book that, yeah, we sit around and we watch what people are saying about us. It's like, yeah, so maybe he does know. Truth, yeah, okay, yeah. Gosh, maybe I should do this more often if I can. Uh, this Friday, these morning ones. I saw a vid of a dude pretending to be a good dad talking to the screen. My dad walked away when I was 5. That vid hit place I didn't know I had. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying, sometimes when people say practice gratitude, I want to punch them in the face. But there is some truth to that. There is some truth to it. Be grateful for what you have. I'm leaking. Okay. Sort of poopus. Oh wait. I play Magic the Gathering suit. It's therapeutic as woke as it is. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. They just like everything else, they've gone woke. Um, but I've because of certain situations and I'll be nice and stop talking about other people, but I think everyone knows. It's almost become like I feel like Martin Luther. When Martin Luther, when all the different Protestant denominations started up and that he was all fighting with them over stuff. And he said, I tried to get rid of one pope and I created 20. And yeah, you got people sitting out there trying to be more judgmental and more dictatorial than the Pope himself is about what you watch, about what you play, about what you spend your money on. And I'm like, Vermont cheddar, you spend all the money you want on Magic the Gathering. You even buy that black Aragorn one. I don't give a because the opposite is I found to be more toxic because let's just be serious. Everyone spends money on woke stuff. Everyone spends money on Disney. If you go to any sporting event, yeah. But you know what's funny? I really am a Disney shill. Because the technical definition of a Disney shill is someone that's like benefited from it, like gotten perks and things. I've got lots of stuff from back in the day because I believe it or not, I was an influencer. The only difference between me and my business partner in that situation was we still bashed them. It was like, should we still be honest? It's like, hell yes, we're going to be honest. They can send us whatever they want. Give us whatever access. We're not going to lie. But here's the true story. A certain person actually appreciated it. But yes, I am a Disney shill. I had to take a lot of it down because of my thing, but I have lots of free stuff I got. It was awesome. Play, yeah. Play whatever you want, watch whatever you want, do whatever you want because it's all connected. If you have a bank account, you're probably giving money to Disney because they're all in league with each other, all this entertainment and stuff. What I will encourage people to do, and trust me, you spend $5 on something, that's not going to change anything. But if you do decide to do something, I have found that boycotts are more effective than boycotts. Because, first of all, with boycotts, everybody lies. Okay. Boycotts, that's something you're in complete control of. Potato Reverend says, as an anthropology, do you think when the pendulum swings back, do you think it will correct back to pre-woke or do you think it will ever get back to normal? Interesting. Yeah, because actually social anthropology is what I studied. I was terrible at archaeology. I just had to take one course on that, thank goodness. Because if most digs are like not in Egypt and you have to wear all this protective stuff because we kept finding heroin needles everywhere. But I digress. Will it go back to pre-woke? It will not. It will not. Because the internet changed everything. The internet changed everything. I think what we will get, the pendulum will swing back in certain segments, in certain areas, and it'll almost be like, you know how sometimes people say in America, at least, we're already having secession? And we already have this in I'll use the Catholic Church. Sorry, people, I am Catholic, as an example. I don't know if I'm sure it's the case in Ireland because I always go to the same church when I go there. But there's like one church that's woke, the priest is woke as hell and all that. And that's where all the woke people go. And everyone knows that I'll make this up because I'm obviously not going to dox myself. Though I wouldn't dox myself, would I? St. Teresa's church. Okay. Named after me. Everyone knows that's where it's not woke. So that's where all the non-woke go. That's what's going on. And I think the same thing is happening in America, where everyone's going to Texas, everyone's going to Florida, and then all the other people are going to Vermont and other places. And even within Texas, you have places like Austin. Oh my gosh, which is woke as hell. So you stay away from Austin. I think that'll be the case. What I think also will happen, Potato Reverend, this pattern that I see is there may not be when the pendulum we've already see the pendulum starting to swing back, we will see less authoritarianism, people trying to force people to do something against their will, where they'll just let it go. Because I think that there have been enough people, and I've seen this at the schools, enough kids, because they're young, they've already been trained and conditioned. There'll be enough people that will follow the election variant guidelines. And then you'll have someone like me that's like never again, and they'll just say, "Well, that's not a big deal. Just let her go." I think that's the way it's going to be. Everyone's saying very true. Lady Toriel says, "Everyone hit that like button, please." Yes, please do. If I drink for 4 days, will I have WD? I'm scared. What's W? Oh gosh. I'm a bit of an amateur on this stuff. First of all, I don't think there's anything to be scared of. And if there is, just check yourself into a doctor or something. If you're thinking about like, do you need like an IV or something? Well, in fact, you're even here. I think you're fine. But don't. Hey, I am not a doctor. Nothing to be scared of. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. You are in control of yourself. I That's my phone warning me that I've got an hour before Pilates. I need my phone because my bank info's on it. I need to stay in contact with a friend. Yes. Well, and that's where some truth of it is. My first thought is, "Oh my gosh, someone could get into my bank account, my contacts." Yeah. Yeah, well, and I think you know what? Let me be fair on that. Yeah, that's a good point because I think that individuals who, that phones are like your car keys now or the keys to your house. So, yeah, you always freak out when you can't find your keys for the same reason. Good point. Genevieve, I've got to go take care of Teresa and everyone. Well, thank you. And everyone, if you don't follow Genevieve on Twitter, follow Genevieve on Twitter. She has the most beautiful pictures of, swans and flowers and many different things. I got to know her when I was editor in chief of Once Upon a Fan, and she would make these beautiful edits and collages and things from Once Upon a Time, and they're just beautiful, and they will cheer up your day. A lot of Vermont, and have a lot of Jews are first in the Casals and have the same blood. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that's the number one reason why having state churches is so wrong, in my humble opinion. Yes, because it was like, "We've got you an offer you can't refuse," and it was wrong, and it was evil, and all that. Thank God that was, like, 400 years ago, but you're right, especially in Spain, and you would even find that over here in America, if you go to, I think it's Arizona? Or New Mexico, somewhere there that you will find in some Catholic churches that were around from the time of the Spanish borderlands, that there's certain areas that had, like, Jewish stuff, like what you would find in a synagogue, and it turns out because they were pretending to be Catholics, but they were really Jews. My Russian mom, has naval blood, told me she was an OG traveler. All pasta is aces. Potato Reverend says, "Kids have been told you're the best, you're a princess. Attendance trophies, participation trophy, then their show kids outsmart and beat up adults and are not told what they believe they can do what they do." Yeah, yeah. Well, here's the thing. You know how we talk about the pendulum going too far. Yeah, sitting around and beating up on a kid, metaphorically and physically, and mentally. You told me that you experienced it. I experienced it a little bit in the 80s, uh, where teachers could still just say, "Why aren't you getting this? Are you stupid?" And in many cases, oh, it's just horrible because of what we now know about learning disabilities, but also, you know what? I still suck at certain things. I'm barely okay at math. Algebra, I was great at. 'Cause you can just plug it in. But I only made it to, like, algebra 2. I didn't go into the higher level math, but I was a genius at music. So it's no, I wasn't stupid, but yeah, so there's that. So everyone was like, "Oh gosh, we were so mean to the kids." So then they went in the other direction, created a bunch of narcissists. Okay, cousin Polly LaSha okay, I'm not sure what that means. My addiction is Napoleon. Oh my gosh, Napoleons. I haven't had one in so long. They're so good. Hang on, they were chain smoking and you didn't drive past with a water pistol, Miss Opportunity. No. The Insane Witch King, ha, 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 ha. Everyone's laughing. Swimming is the, ultimate cardio workout. Yeah, I love swimming. Swim like Galadriel. Galadriel. You know, when I was playing Witcher 3, because I had to swim out to this island, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm Galadriel." But, yeah. I hate cardio, but put me in a pool, I can feel yeah. Yeah, you know what? I agree. I've never been one for running and stuff, but yeah, there's something about swimming. And, it's easier on the joints and stuff because I can't really lift weights because I overuse my arms and all that so much with conducting and playing the instruments. So lifting weights and stuff is not an opportunity is not I can't. It just I it causes injury. I have to be very careful, but what I do is if you put weights on in a pool, you can get a lot of that strength and dragging the drag you get from it. The redheaded stereotype. From what I heard, Potato Reverend says Harry isn't allowed to join his other royal cousins across Europe anymore, and Spanish royals really hate the Markles. Oh, everyone hates them because here's the reason why. Remember what I was saying earlier about going off on Twitter about something that's private or something, something that happened in, that dude in his book and in his stupid documentary, he revealed family secrets. He revealed private conversations that they had, like, about his dad at his father's funeral and blabbed it all over the planet. It's like anyone that does that to their family is a piece of shit. And they're so presumptuous. If you watch their documentary, they're like, they just didn't like that Megan was better at being a royal than the rest of them. It's like, no, she sucked at being a royal. If you know anything about her, she didn't do anything. And the only thing she wanted to do was like go to premieres and stuff. She didn't want to go hang around the homeless and less glamorous things or no royals like them. And the Hollywood people don't like him. Well, that's the other thing. Harry was a narc. He narked out Courtney Cox. It's like, oh yeah, she had drugs at her house. It's like, yeah, who's gonna invite him to a party after that? Milton says, I find if you present these woke idiots of indisputable facts, it's like the brains implode and with just nonsense and violence. It's hilarious, like they're actually allergic to reality. You're true about that. That's why I always tell people you're wasting your time trying to tell them facts. I learned that the hard way because you're just like, you can sit there and you can show them video. You can show them literal video. It's like, that person never said that. Well, here he is saying it. It's like, well, the person probably had it coming. By the way, let me know if my sound's okay. I couldn't find my earphones. I sometimes like to listen to my earphones so I can hear myself how I sound. But I couldn't find them, and I wasn't going to deal with it. I agree, says meteor advocate Timon. The only cure is the mighty meteor. Yes, Saint Athanasius, ora pro nobis. Snortopupus cuber. Women make natural archaeologists because they are good at digging up things from the You're the winner. You're the winner, Snortopupus. You're the winner. Woke isn't the issue. It's just extremism. These people extremely, yeah. Could they be extreme about something else? I see your point. Woof woof. Hello, it's Hound 3000. Woof. We endorse woofing. Oh, we love our animals. We've got 3 animals now. Vermont. There will be withdrawal. Get some really dark chocolate or something really sweet and take a nibble if you're feeling the urge. That's what you're talking. Oh, withdrawal. Yeah, that's why I told you all that. You go to AA meeting. Okay, this is evil. You got a sugar craving, pretend you're an alcoholic, and step in a meeting. Okay, that's evil. Don't do that. I did this AA meeting where the people were all chain smoking outside the church, and then I was seeing people because they were carrying cake and fudge. Oh my gosh, my stupid phone keeps going off. Fudge and that's what I thought. What's going on here? Must be a party. Sort of poop. Oh, everyone's woofing at each other. We endorse woofing. Look who's here! It is Kelly Inch. Kellinch. Kelly Inch? Oh, fudge. It's everyone here, but hi anyways. Yay, hello from the future. What is it? Howdy from Southwest Florida. Oh, I see. Oh, you're not that far in the future. Higher level math, says Meter Advocate Tone, is like a language in a way. It's all about synonyms. Yes, correct. And here's one of the things about education that sucks. They tend to have the teachers that aren't the best with the so-called and here in America, we call them regular classes. And all the great teachers are in the advanced classes. And sometimes that's the case because it's like a reward for the teachers for having to deal with all the thuggery, if you will. But I sometimes do wonder if I had had a really good teacher for math, maybe I would have done better, if that makes sense. Well, and I told you I like algebra. It was um what was it? Because algebra you plug it in, it was geometry, not geometry. Yeah, it was geometry and proving theorems and that kind of thinking I just don't do too well with rather. I am very left-brained, logical, mathematical. Who doesn't dislike the Harkles? Okay, except maybe the Yorks. Oh, don't get me started on them. Yeah, the the spies. You know how they're all right now Halloweening. They're having their August vacation over there in Balmoral, and everyone's like when they see Eugenie and what's the other chick's name? Beatrice show and their husbands, suddenly everyone just shuts up. They're like, "Why doesn't anyone wanna talk to us?" Wow, we've got, 16 in here. Thank you, everyone. Great to like, share, subscribe, smash the like button. You can use all the temptations so you can push like a speed boat. I love unfiltered muses. Oh, yeah. Well, this is how I get outside of my head. Kelly and oh, they're waving. Oh, you're for a subterranean Arctic complex in Western Florida. Kellyanne says Harry is the kind of person who is born on third base and thinks he is a triple. He also is thick as a plank with zero life skills. Yeah, yeah. And I think that a lot of people have put him on the psychiatrist shelf, rather chair, that because of who he got a lot of passes in life and people were puffing him up and he really thought he was something special. And not to say that he might not have been, but all that, but that he was very puffed up. And then he says, I don't want to be part of you all anymore. I'm going to make my own way. He thought because he was so special that he was going to come to America and be as special as he was when he was a royal. And I think he's figuring out people only gave a crap about him because he was a royal. I have a legit scripts. If it's in the wrong bottle, it's bad, even though 100 I generally don't hold people's past, Raya says, against them, but Megan was a professional yacht girl, basically an escort that came from decent wealth. Yeah, there's a lot of evidence for that, but, I mean, when I look at her, there's a pattern. There's definitely a pattern, and it is so clear when you see it, because Tom Bauer in his book Revenge points this out. They never planned to stay. At least she didn't. That everything that they were saying, everything that they were doing, the way she kept flaunting protocol, and she kept saying, "Why don't they like me?" And then she'd show up, like, without a hat with the queen, or she would wear the wrong colors at an event, like trooping the colors, that dress she wore showing her shoulders. And she showed up at Wimbledon in jeans, and then it was like yeah, people were like, "What the hell is wrong with her? Why is she being such a bitch?" And making fun of the customs of England, and then she's like, "No one likes me, I gotta go," and turns out she had a deal with Oprah already, like and the fact that no one really said, "Is this a red flag that none of her family has been invited to the wedding?" It's like, that's a red flag. Unless all your family is dead, is there a reason why your family's not coming to your wedding? Her mother, her one person from her family, it was her mother. Hang out, Milton says, "Hang out, I just gotta pretend to be an alcoholic and get free sugary things. I can do so much with this." Well, you could. But like I said, it that's a new low. That's something that would be a joke maybe, and that'd be something Seinfeld would do. That's something George and Seinfeld would do. Take care. Creme de coke. Oh gosh, don't you? No, 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 no jokes about that. Don't worry about mathematics. I actually was good at it in high school, and I haven't used it so long. I was having trouble with calculating measure cake. Prince Harry's greatest achievement, says Milton, is dressing up as a World War II bad guy in the world just about forgetting within a year. Yeah. Well, well, yeah, they did a lot of PR cover up. You see, that's the other thing. He doesn't have the firm covering his ass anymore. So maybe he was always this jerk and we just didn't know it because they were covering up for him. In high school, says Joya, I had the same teacher for algebra and algebra 2 and barely passed with a D minus. Took geometry with a teacher that loved math and learned everything I should have in the first two. Damn right. And nothing against uh, coaches, but this is the Lord's truth. Coaches, when they hire coaches, they have to like hire teachers. So, and they usually put the coaches in with the regular classes. So these people are really great at coaching basketball. And, oh, yeah, yeah, I'll teach math during the day. Same thing with social studies. That's notorious. That's why no one knows anything about the government. Guten Morgen, Frau Teresa. Well, good morning, Jacob Ironside. Always great to see you here. Thank you for being here. I'm lurking now since I can't type. Yeah, okay. Well, let's see. All right, I got about 15 minutes, so I don't want to be clickbait. No one likes clickbait. Um, my sister actually, going back to geometry there and math and stuff. My sister is mediocre at. Okay, she's a really, really good French teacher and ESL teacher, but she was good at math, but she wasn't great at math, though she still got A's because she's disgustingly smart. And she is an in-demand tutor. And her theory is, she says people who aren't brilliant at math, in other words, people that are brilliant at math shouldn't be teaching math. Because they have difficulty the way their brains work, they have difficulty getting into the head of a student or a young person that doesn't understand, so they have trouble. But someone that maybe isn't or wasn't always great at math can show the different ways. I lost interest in geometry when the teacher told me that pi or square. Gosh, don't get me started. Though I do wonder if I were to try to take geometry now that I'm more grown up, because you know how they say your brain's still developing until you're 25? Maybe my brain just couldn't handle it at 15. And all I cared about was music. So Milton says the greatest trick in government ever did was crash and oh yeah, Roswell. The truth is out there. Okay. Since I'm not clickbaiting. Oh, you baldos here. I was blessed to have a great math teacher with whom I was able to take up to calculus 2 in high school. Well done. I'm left-handed, so math is uh let's see. Hard, but geometry I'm great at. Oh. Gain perspective. Okay, how do you stay humble? Well, this is a hard one actually. You know what? You might suck tracking happiness. Cuz someone who is prideful, their very problem is they can't gain perspective. They can't admit that they're not the greatest thing on earth and everyone else is just an idiot. So it's hard for someone that's already in that state to gain perspective. But those of us that might dabble in pride, it's like an alcoholic. Oh gosh, I hate to bring this back to alcohol. Okay, those of us that the analogy would be people that have a beer when they're at a football game. They dabble into it, right? If we work toward gaining perspective and keeping perspective, there is actually something called the Litany of Humility. I have it on a card right here. It's what I do. that I should think of people better than people are better than myself, from the desire of being praised, from the desire of being exalted, you know, from the desire of being loved, of being honored, praised, from the desire of being preferred to others, from the desire of being consulted, from the desire of being approved. And you're saying like, Jesus, help me or something. And then, oh gosh, this is where, I have trouble because I told you earlier I had issues with this. From the fear of being ridiculed, from the fear of being forgotten, from the fear of being wronged, from the fear of being suspected, from the fear of being despised, yeah. Gain some perspective. I see math in pictures. And Milton says, it's hard to be humble when I am perfect in every way and just can't wait to look in the mirror because I'm better looking each day. Precisely. And that's why, that's how you can usually spot someone like that. We're talking about narcissism now. Uh, they're never wrong. They're never wrong. And if you ever push back or even say, oh, you know what? You really that was really not very kind of you to make fun of that person that way or something, or uh, or anything, or it's like, oh, that wasn't cool. What you did wasn't cool, or you need to work on this. They will lash out, and it's like, dude, take some constructive criticism. I get rebuked all the time, and I appreciate it. Rebuke, and understand, rebuke is different than, like, people being mean and being awful, because there's something healthy in being rebuked. I would hope that if I did something bad or cruel or was going in the wrong direction, that people I love and trust would keep me on the right path. Milton says there's nothing wrong with being truthfully prideful, but false pride will tear you down. That's the problem with most of the sins. They are good and bad. Yeah. Yeah. And I think I went into that a little bit in the seven deadly sins. Shameless advertisement. Is that um, pride? So, someone said this once in a speech. There's a difference between being proud and being prideful. He said maybe that's helpful because sometimes, yeah, you should be proud of certain things, proud of achievement you've done, being proud of your son or your daughter or someone you love that's done a great achievement. And confidence is good. Self confidence, a healthy self confidence is good. I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken. Yeah. Ubaldo says left-handed people are always correct and everyone else is wrong. Sorry, LOL. Yeah. So gain perspective. Gain perspective. That's why daily examinations of conscience are really good. And again, you don't have to be religious to do it. You can do a secular examination of conscience. Basically what goes on with an examination of conscience is, was I an asshole today? Sorry, you know, Thomas Aquinas and all you out there, but that's basically what it is. Was I an asshole today? And if I was an asshole, what do I need to do to make it right? And that's why, if anyone's out there talking shit about me, it is a fact. Even with the one situation I'm thinking of, I had there was an apology and an invitation to let's sort this out. And that's sometimes how you can tell someone's character. Gosh, now I'm being prideful. Like, look how great I am. Oh gosh, now I got to gain perspective. But how does someone behave after they've been an asshole? Do they apologize? Do they make it right? That's usually where you can tell someone's character, and I keep that in mind. I will always try to make it right. I'm often wrong, left-handed, honestly. Alright. Joy says, "To me, absolutely. If you love someone, you should rebuke them if they feel they are going down a bad path. Speaking from experience, it hurts in the immediate, but in the perspective, glad they did." Yeah. And let's talk about something fictional. That's probably better. One of the greatest rebukes on the planet is my boyfriend, Mr. Knightley from Emma, Jane Austen book. When Emma was really mean to a friend of hers, a friend who was poor and silly and not very attractive and getting old, and she made fun of her. Emma made fun of her, like, in front of a whole bunch of people and really hurt her. And Mr. Knightley gave her one hell of a rebuke. He was like, "Badly done, Emma, badly done." Milton says, "A lot of the sins I actually very well explained in Jewish ceremonialism on the pillars guarding the tree of life. Each spear of mercy added, each on severity contains its own poisoning cure." Darn right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we're like I told you, we all come from the same font. Um, Never throw the baby out with the bathwater, and yeah, gosh, there's so many beautiful things in Judaism. Speaking of which, this is another thing. Seek feedback. Oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna. People can read that. Okay, well, you know what? You are a polar bear, so seek feedback. Seek feedback. It's very simple. And if someone gives you feedback that's not, oh my gosh, you're the most perfect person that ever lived, don't lose your shit. All right? I'm looking at like music. Sometimes my job when I'm coaching, uh, whether it's an orchestra or an individual or people that I actually am their uh, teacher for in a private lesson situation, often our job is to find out what they're doing wrong and correcting it. You're constantly giving them feedback. Oh, you were flat, you were sharp. Oh, you missed that note. Oh, let's go over this. Not seek feedback. And I've been on a few YouTube streams where sometimes after a stream, when I'm a guest, the person will ask for feedback. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I want to be a better, YouTuber. And like, what and nothing wrong with seeking feedback. But you also have to be ready to hear what you're asking for. Seek feedback. You hear this, people? This is how you're humble. Oh, crap. Okay, I got to keep my eyes on the time. Here we go. This is a hard one. Acknowledge your limitations and shortcomings. Acknowledge it. Because for one thing, everyone can see it anyways. It's not a secret. Remember when I said we all suck? We do. And again, I'm going to use the music analogy. I go out there and I'm off key. That never happens, by the way. Oh gosh, that's terrible. Okay, but if I am, and I wasn't flat. Everyone heard I was flat. Everyone already knows what kind of a person you are. Acknowledge it. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. Now, there is a difference between acknowledging it and beating yourself up over it, because that's actually another side of pride. You're not going to be perfect. Acknowledge your limitations and your shortcomings. And that's where it comes from, where you need to apologize. If you've done something wrong, even if it's to an asshole, even if it's to a terrible person, it doesn't matter. If you've done something wrong to someone, you apologize. Acknowledge your limitations and your shortcomings, and you do what you need to do to make it right. And when you acknowledge these, that's how you can overcome these and your limitations. That's another thing about being humble. For my instrumental career, I have been an ensemble player. Nothing wrong with that. But imagine if I tried to make it that I was a solo person. First of all, I'd fall flat on my face, but so you see where shortcomings aren't necessarily bad. It's finding your strength. Again, I keep using music analogies so that people don't think I'm talking about them. That happens, by the way. It's like, no, I wasn't talking about you. Acknowledge your shortcomings. Nothing wrong with that. I have my shortcomings. You saw some shortcomings earlier. I'm sitting there boo-hooing. What an idiot. But, I'm an emotional person. I acknowledge it. And as long as I'm not hurting anybody, That's where we have to be careful. Are we hurting anyone? Hello. Well, look who's here. Stephen Ransom. Thank you for the rose. Am I getting everyone? Oh, Milton says, I help out with a couple of study groups involving a few different traditional practices. I find pointing out what's done wrong, but focusing on what's done correct is the easiest way to learn things. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. And that's what I'm saying is, especially if you're getting feedback, you don't want to be too harsh. Or, they always say you always want to say something positive along if you're something negative. Good to be humble, but don't be a pushover. That's true too. A little pride can be good. Yes. Being proud, but not prideful. Baldo says, sorry to leave the chat, but I need to get back to work. Have a great day. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. And don't be sorry at all. I'm just so happy you're here and everyone is here. Have fun. Teresa, you're legit. Keep on. Have a great day at work. Oh, well, I guess. And maybe that's pride too. It's like, because I figured out a long time ago, everyone's going to learn if you're a faker. So you may as well be legit, I guess. Because again, people know. People know. People know who you are. And people that aren't telling you, they're using you. They want something out of you. Meekness is not weakness. Yeah, that's a good thing too. Yeah. And there was again, it was Father Benedict Groeschel. If you ever want to hear from that, a psychologist with some religion in there, he's passed away. May he rest in peace. But he used to say, Jesus says a lot of things in the New Testament, but the one thing he never says is, be stupid. He actually says the opposite. Be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. Don't be a pushover either. Acknowledge your limitations and your shortcomings. And that's also part of my daily ritual. I do a morning offering and an evening examination of conscience. And I also do that on Sundays as well. Elevate others. Give it a try. Sometimes it's hard. And sometimes where that can be bad is if you're elevating others because you want something out of them. There's a difference between self-serving, elevating others. Praise other people. Don't praise yourself all the time. Praise other people and mean it. And work to elevate others. See, that's the other thing. Sometimes you get that competition thing going on. It's like it's either her or me. It's either him or me. I've got to put this person down so I can be elevated. That's not how you're humble, and also that's how everyone starts to hate you. There is a myth about the diva, actor, actress, all that kind of a thing. I know this for a fact. I'm talking about Hollywood and stuff like that. If you're an asshole, people don't want to work with you, and you won't get jobs. And you can tell the actors that aren't assholes because they're the ones that the same directors and same writers and same showrunners continue to rehire. Look who James Cameron keeps using. Look who Quentin Tarantino keeps using. Look who, I'm thinking about Once Upon a Time. The ones from Lost that they kept bringing in. People want to work with people. Honesty can take courage because judgment will follow. Yes, encourage others and be great. Yeah, all of that. Okay, and sadly, I do need to start wrapping this up. So let's get. Thank goodness the fifth one is there's only 5 here. Practice gratitude. I talked about this earlier that sometimes I want to smack people in the face. They're like, be grateful, be gratitude, be happy. Oh gosh. But sadly, there's some truth in this. Practice gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. Quit focusing on what you don't have. Be grateful for what you have. Practice gratitude. Be grateful for the people you have in your life. And maybe since we're talking about how to be humble and not be prideful, be grateful for the people that are elevating you. Be grateful for the people that are in your life that help you. Don't focus on what people aren't doing for you. Focus on what they are doing for you. Oh, Milton says, damn it, being an asshole is my only redeeming quality. Well, sorry. Being an ass can be wrong, but sometimes it's pure honesty that needs. It's all about the intention. Yes. And again, that's the difference between being We all know being an asshole. I was talking earlier about being the difference between rebuking somebody. When you properly rebuke someone, it's done in love, it's done in charity, versus being an asshole. And usually there are ulterior motives in assholes. Um, Milton says, I'm grateful that I'm one of the best people in the world. Yeah. Well, that's not exactly pride. Oh, whoops. I guess they don't like some of the language. YouTube is hiding it. Okay, thank you. I think Ahmad just took care of that for me. You know, yeah. Good intentions can be bad consequences. They can be. That's why you've got to be wise as a serpent. Don't be stupid. Be vigilant. Be aware. It's very easy to be used. It's happened to me. Very easy. And this is where I maybe need to point the finger at me. I also need to let things go. You know, I think maybe there can be some pride, a lack of humility, and okay, just let it go. This person did this, or the situation wasn't fair. This job wasn't fair. This person shouldn't have gotten the role. I should have gotten the role. All that kind of stuff. Got to let it go. Without a good exit, should have it all end up full of it, says Raya. But good and yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. So speaking of needing to do good things, I am going to Pilates because that's the other thing. No matter what happens, if you're especially if you're a caretaker, you have to look after yourself. And so I'm going to Pilates to look after my body. And then then I'm going to be caregiving. I'm going to be going to the hospital. So and this is the other thing. This is maybe where it can get hard because you kind of got to be strong when you're around someone that's really sick because they can't deal with you and your drama and your issues. So if you wouldn't mind if you're a praying person, pray. If you're not send good thoughts, I don't know, send some energy from the trees. I don't know, whatever it is you do, really would appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone that's here. I'm very grateful for everyone that has been here in the chat. Mailman brought me some presents. Yay. Love your streams. Well, thank you, Vermont Cheddar. I try. And I hope that everyone enjoyed it. So have fun at Pilates. Yes, I will. I think that'll be good for you. Take care, Miss Martin. Put me in a really good mood this morning. Oh, well, hell, maybe I should do this more often. Maybe I should cry more often. But no, I'm happy that everyone is here and stay tuned. Yeah, I didn't do Catholic. I just couldn't I just haven't been able to stream. But I did do, of course, my stream with Demogeny, which was great fun. So, and I'm going to have Arwen Avalon on Tuesday for Pub Crawl. Catholic Splaining, the plan is to have Catholic Splaining this Sunday, and I'll be getting back to Teresa Travels as well. I'm going to try to get back into a schedule because I think that's important as well. I need to do things for me. Yay. Okay. Oh, a model kit and all that. Okay. I do have to go. So have a great day, everyone. Oh, thank you, Lady T. Have a great day and be certain to be humble.